letting her get it out of her system. Okay, so here's our formula for sum of cubes, difference of cubes. And so your original polynomial, these are specific things. A sum of cubes is something cubed plus something cubed. Difference of cubes is something cubed minus something cubed. And these formulas are as far as you can factor these down.
Wait. What if you was A minus B parentheses A something?
This is as far down as it goes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn everything into either a sum of cubes or difference of cubes so that we can use the formula. Okay? So the first one's not too bad because x cubed is already a cubed. But we can write 27 as a cubed also. It is 3 cubes. So if you didn't know that, you might have to play with the numbers a little bit. So that's like your A and B. So where I have A plus B in parentheses, what I would have is x plus 3. And then when I have A squared, I'd have x squared. Minus AB means I'm taking x times 3 plus B squared is plus 3 squared. Oh, and there is a minus. You're right. I should change that to a minus. So then we clean it up just a little bit, and we get x squared. You can call this 3x, and you can call that 9. And that is as far as you can factor that sum of cubes. It only works if you can write both terms as something cubed. Each of these examples has something a little bit different in it. So what's different on number 3 is I have a coefficient in front of the x. So I need to think about how I can write 8 as something cubed.
2.
So 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 and x in parentheses and cube the whole thing. And 27 we just looked at, that's 3 cubed. So now 2x is my A and 3 is my B. So when I put that into the formula, I'm going to have 2x plus 3. And then when I get to A squared, that's 2x in parentheses squared. I have to square the whole thing. Minus 2x times 3 plus 3 squared. So that last part looks the same as what we just did. And then we go back and do all the math. So let me zoom in so you can see a little better. So this part stays the same. So 2x squared just means 2x times 2x. So 4x squared. 2x times 3 is just 6x. And 3 squared is 9. And that's your final answer. So the main thing you have to do is make this into something cubed plus something cubed, and then get all the pieces into the formula in the correct place.
What's the point of this?
This is factoring.
Yeah.
It's gonna help us do a bunch of stuff later. Okay? Basically it's gonna make what we do after Christmas a heck of a lot easier if we can factor it first. Okay, so we have notebooks. Moving along. All right, on number 4, they have the x's not in the first place but in the second place. That's okay. We can write 64 as a cubed. What cubed is 64?
4.
8 cubed is way bigger than that. So this would be, I think you said it, 4 cubed. So I can make it 4 cubed minus x cubed. If these are switched, you have to switch them when you put it into the formula. So now we're switching into the difference formula that's up here. So we would have 4 minus x. We would have 4 squared plus 4 times x plus x squared.
X squared.
Okay, because the formula is a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. And then the only other thing you could do with this is go in and do the squared. So I can make that 16, make that 4x and x squared. After you do a few, you might be able to skip from here to here. But I still like to write it out, otherwise I make mistakes. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so that was a little different because we put the number in front and the x is second, but you still do it the same way. Last year, people argued with me that we should be able to switch these around. When you get to the very end, you could make this negative x plus 4 and you could rearrange these, but technically this is how you use the formula. The x right here has to stay negative, and the 4 has to stay positive for this to work.
Was people arguing Johnny?
He wasn't in my class at that point.
Oh, okay.
All right, so there's 2 numbers on this one. So this one just becomes slightly more complicated,
Yay.
but not a lot. So 125 is 5 cubed, so I'm going to make this 5x in parentheses cubed. And 64 we just saw was 4 cubed. We just used the formula, so we're going to have 5x minus 4. That's just a minus b. So 5x is the a and 4 is the b. And then you're going to have 5x squared plus 5x times 4 plus 4 squared. So you square the first part, you're going to multiply the 2 things together, and then you square the last part. In this, the pattern, you will get used to it. It's not that bad. So then 5x squared is 5x times 5x. You get 25x squared. 5x times 4 is 20x. 4 squared is 16. So that one, it's kind of nice to write it out ahead of time because you've got a little bit of math to do before you write down the final answer. Okay, so the first 4 we only had 1 variable. Now I'm going to throw in other variables. It doesn't really change what you're going to do. Just means you're going to have more variables in the answer.
This is killing my question.
Okay, so on number 6, we have to write these as cubed. 8 is 2 cubed. We've already looked at, so I'm going to write that as 2x cubed
Why do you have to
and y cubed.
read if it's already cubed?
Because 8 has to be written as something cubed. You have to know that it's 2x is what's getting cubed because that's your a. You're not going to use 8 when you put it in the formula. You're going to use 2.
Wait.
So this is basically your a cubed
Wait, but why do you
minus
know
your
that
b
8x
cubed.
isn't 8?
The 8x is already cubed. Yeah.
It's not. This cube is only on the x.
For the x?
There's no parentheses. So 8 we have to
Okay.
turn into 2 cubed to
That
get
actually
8.
makes sense. I just wanted
So
to
this
make sure.
cubed is not originally on the 8. It's only on the x because there's no parentheses.
So it's just 8 times x cubed. It's not 8x.
Right. So now we've changed it so it's something where the whole thing is cubed. That's the difference. So we put it in our formula. We have a minus b, so you'd have 2x minus y. And then you have a squared, so 2x squared plus ab. So that would just be 2x times y, and then plus b squared, or to be plus y squared. So not a whole lot to do with that part. And then we just clean it up, simplify as much as possible. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. This just becomes 2xy, and you leave that y squared, and you're done.
Let me catch up.
Okay, I'll give you a second.
This is so fun.
So basically, it's all going back to the same 2 formulas. They're just not all going to look the same. So this one, we had a number on this one. What was different is we have 2 variables. Then I'm going to do some where you have 2 variables and 2 numbers. And then 8 and 9 actually have a twist. So don't work ahead on 8 and 9 because there's something else you have to do to those first. Okay, so ready for 6? Done with, I'm sorry, ready for 7, done with 6. I know what I'm trying to say.
Weird because one's just up there.
Okay, so on number 7, 216 is the same thing as 6 cubed. So I'm going to write this as 6u whole thing cubed. 125 is 5 cubed, so that'd be 5v in parentheses cubed. So we're changing this. Up here it was just the u that was cubed and the v that's cubed, but they gave us cubed numbers so that we could write them as just this cubed and this cubed. That's your a and your b. So we're going to have 6u minus 5v, and then over here I'm going to have 6u squared plus 6u times 5v plus 5v squared. And then we have a little math to go back and do in the second set of parentheses. The first parentheses are easy. This one's a little tougher. So 6u times 6u is 36u squared. Then here we have 30uv. And then 5v times 5v is 25v squared.
Gonna need some proof through.
And it looks like you'd be able to factor that second part, but you can't. Okay, so when we get down to 8 and 9, there is a twist. So finish up number 7. Still a couple people writing. But I'm going to show you a twist. I'm recording it. You can watch it all again later.
Oh, that sounds fun. Wait, wouldn't that not cure the problem though?
Huh?
Wouldn't that not cure it if it's
No.
going too fast though?
Well, if you see it over and over, you can
watch it fast.
you could put it in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you still working on 7?
I don't want to live on this
I
planet.
think you boxed it. I saw you
Right.
in a box. Okay. So on number 8, 4 is not a number we can write as something cubed, but notice there's a 4 on both terms.
Take them out.
Really?
So we're going to take it out. We're going to take out that greatest common factor of 4,
Silly.
and we just have u cubed plus v cubed. And since now there's no numbers with that, we could just put in u and v and substitute for a and b and just have the formula.
Whoa.
So-
Whoa. Why is there a 4 outside the parentheses?
Because we
I thought
took a
got rid
4
of it.
out of both terms.
I thought we got rid of it though.
Well, when you factor it out, you're not dividing for real because
Well,
there's
yeah,
not
that's
another
just-
side of the
yeah.
equation. So it does have to sit there.
I feel
And so
it.
then this we would make u plus v and just be u squared minus uv plus v squared. And you're done. So basically you just have to use the formula. And remember, don't get rid of the 4 because we didn't actually divide it out.
I like that one.
That one's not so bad.
I like that one.
Okay? So you can check for greatest common factors. We didn't have any up to this point. But if you're looking and those numbers are not something you can make into a cube, that's sort of a hint that you probably have to do something else. On number 9, 250 and 54 are also not something we can write as cubed.
Yeah.
So you need to find the biggest number that goes into both, which sadly is 2. So really all we can take out of both of those is a 2.
Wow.
So if I take a 2 out,
Well,
we get 125 u cubed minus 27 v cubed. But 125 and 27 are numbers we can use, so it'll be okay.
Was there?
So now I'm going to change that. I'm going to make a big bracket, because otherwise this gets more confusing.
That's crazy.
And turn this into 5u parentheses cubed minus 3v parentheses cubed. We've done 5 and 3 already. And so then we have this, and we can go ahead and use the formula on that part. The 2 just kind of rides along on the outside. You could use parentheses inside parentheses, but I like to make the outside ones a bracket because it makes it less confusing for me. All right, so in the first
Okay.
set of parentheses, you just have 5u minus 3v. Then I would have 5u squared plus 5u times 3v plus 3v squared. And we'll have to go back through all of that, and that's all inside the parentheses, inside the bracket. Oh my goodness, we're almost done.
Thank God.
All right, so 5u times 5u is 25u squared. 5u times 3v is just 15. uv, keep it alphabetical. And 3v times 3v is 9v squared. Just close the parentheses, put on the bracket, and that one is done.